How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Some idea.
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
is the end. There's a noise inside my head of crying hate of facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
All right, everyone, welcome to a special edition of the Cult After Hours, in which we are going to be having some fun on a little stream in which James Lindsay is scheduled to be appearing live with his woke right hoax conspiracy to have a conversation with Hotep Jesus. Now, everyone used to tell me that Hotep Jesus was so smart. That's never been my experience. Literally, it's never been my experience. And I feel like I tried. I feel like I tried to give Hotep Jesus the benefit of the doubt. I feel like I tried to listen to his opinions because I give everyone a chance. But Hotep Jesus just proved to me over and over and over and over and over again that he was, well, one of the dumbest fucking people on the internet. And so eventually I just blocked him because he was like going on and on and on one day about something that quite frankly didn't even really make sense. And I was like, bro, I ain't got no time for this. You are like beneath my IQ on like by at least 50 points. Like, we can pretend if you want. If you really need a white woman to pretend that you're smart to make yourself feel better, I guess we can do that. But I don't want to do that because I don't think you're smart. I think you're at least 50 IQ points below me, and that's just not going to be a very good use of my time. Milo says, the only time I've listened to Hotep is when he was on Timcast a couple of times. Very unimpressive. I'm not sure why he's popular. Because he's popular among low IQ people. That is the bread and butter of the conservative right. If you get like a black person that is even pretending for a moment to like not hate conservatives, they're going to be like, oh, even if that black person is like the stupidest person on the internet, it doesn't really matter. It's a black person that doesn't hate conservatives, and that's all that really matters. Anyway, James is struggling to find people to advance his woke right messaging. And so he's decided to go on with Hotep Jesus tonight, and we aren't banned in Hotep Jesus' chat. So here's what I need everyone to do. And I want to remind everyone, they're not live yet. Hopefully he's going to be going live in 1 minute. I want to remind everyone, we do not insult. We do not shitpost. We are not disruptive. We ask good and thoughtful questions. And we simply state our position and the definitions of things without arguing, without insulting, without debate. please keep it above board. Please don't descend into the lunacy of the internet. Remember, when you're over there and you come from my chat, you are representing me, and I'm going to have to deal with the blowback of whatever you do. And if you break my rules in that chat and I see it, you're going to get banned in this one, okay? I don't want to do that, but we need to keep everything above board, okay? If you're going to chat in, be nice, be cordial, ask thoughtful questions, make statements of fact that are not aggressive or have a tone in any way. And we're going to have a good old time because James isn't going to like this. So we are waiting for the stream to come online. Let me just check in on Hotep Jesus' Twitter account. Yes, principles before personality. And we have routinely found that when he's live. He's live, so he should be live now. 33 seconds ago. Okay. Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live. Look at that. We're already live. Make good choices. Make good choices. Thank you. We're going to keep the chat open as well. Make good choices. Represent me well. I will be queuing you guys with questions I want asked. I also am in the chat, and there ain't nothing James can do about it. Hi, James. I'm gonna chat in. Hi, James. Is it all gonna be us? Watch, it's all gonna be us. Us and a couple of Hoteps.
Yes, sir. We got a special
We're going
Grift report lined up
today.
for y'all tonight. This is your opportunity to go get you some popcorn, some fried
I
plantain,
got some beer.
some snacks, some chips, guacamole if you like me.
Guacamole is delicious.
Make you a cup of coffee.
It is a delicious
Also,
snack.
get your notepad, get your notebooks. We got a lot to discuss today. We got a big brain conversation lined up for you tonight. So
It's a big brain something.
I want y'all to take notes, write down anything you don't know, anything you need to remember, anything you might need to research later. Now is your opportunity to go do that right now.
Big brain something.
I'm your host of Grift God. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com. Oh, this is a real Hotep brother. Oh, this is a real Hotep brother. I'm your host of Grift God. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com. Oh, this is a real Hotep brother. Oh, this is a real Hotep brother.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
Social scientist. I think that's a bit of a
Well known
stretch.
Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, "What do you think you are? Some kind of Hotep Jesus?"
Ooh,
And I
that's
was just
good.
like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Here they
Ladies
are.
and gentlemen, welcome to
Hi,
a
James.
special edition of the Grift
James
Report.
looks really pleased.
I got a guest here today. He's been shaking up the internet. He done pissed off a lot of people.
James,
Some of
you look
them,
so happy.
I would say a hit dog gonna holler. He been talking about the woke right, and the woke right is that hit dog. Welcome to the show, Conceptual James, aka Dr. James Lindsay. James, what's up, bro? Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming
Hey
on.
man, thanks. This is gonna be fun.
It is going to be fun, James.
Absolutely,
It is.
absolutely. So,
Yep, true.
little backstory here. Every time I use the word woke right, or I should say, every time you use the word woke right, somebody jumps in your mentions and goes, Hotep Jesus used it first. So I just want to clear the air and say, James actually beat me to it, y'all. This is.
I've been using the
did
term
not
since
set the precedent. He actually
2021.
beat me to it. I think we used
Early
the term
2021.
slightly
Me.
different. I'm going to go through some of the stuff in his blog today about the woke right. We use the term slightly different, but after reading his blog, it seems like we are identifying the same group of people. So I'd like to dive right into this conversation,
thanks,
James.
Jane. Appreciate you,
Let
Jane.
me clear the air a minute then too, since you did. Let's be honest. I didn't make up this term either. I don't know exactly where I picked it up, but I know that I
Probably
saw
from me.
a Christian pastor wrote a book review at least 2 years ago, saying the rise of right-wing
So
wokeism.
early 2021.
So,
I'm still the
this
first.
is a term that's been floating around in the atmosphere at close enough for counting for a few years now.
Almost 4
and I
years
think
ago, I used this
based
term.
on what book the guy was reviewing, I would say that this is probably the pastor's name's Kevin DeYoung. I would say that this is very likely the same group of people yet again, but this isn't my term either, so people beat me to it too.
Oh, okay. Damn. Shit. So this must be a thing then.
Yeah, damn the ancients stealing all our good ideas.
So what year was this that he published this?
I'm thinking, I mean, I have to pull it up. I think it's 22.
22. Okay. Yes. Okay. Was his concept of the woke right similar to yours, or was it different, or how was that?
Yeah, he's reviewing a book specifically. The book is Stephen Wolf's book called "The Case for Christian Nationalism,"
Gotta get that
and
volume
it's a
up.
pretty deeply critical review from this Christian, saying that what Stephen Wolf presents in that book does not represent a honest reading of theology, but it's an interesting and provocative idea. But then he points out how much of it is a mirror image of things that he sees from the woke left movement that we've been dealing with here for a number of years.
Okay. Now, before we get into the woke right, we got to get into the term woke. Okay. I want to just get right to the point here. The term woke, are you familiar with its origins
He's
in the
going to
black
make
community?
a case for the black origins
I
of
know at least as far back as the 2000s, and I understand that it was a term that was used, considerably longer ago, at least back to the 60s. Although hip was a pretty common term used back in the 60s. It kind of rose to cultural prominence, if I'm not wrong, in Erykah Badu's song "Master Teacher" in '08. Because the refrain is "Stay woke, and so it referred to being aware of racism within the police.
Guys, mount the like button, like the stream, so more people
and,
come and watch
if
here.
you're gonna
Like
be
the
out in
stream.
neighborhood, be woke to
Come on,
the
only
fact that there
25
might
of
be
you
people
like the stream. Get the
who
likes
don't
up.
have your best interests in mind for very bad reasons. And then when Trayvon Martin got shot in Sanford in Florida,
Are they deleting me?
it
No,
became
they
a
aren't.
watchword for BLM. And my reading from that
edgy light
point
skin deleted
is
by
that,
moderator.
of course, BLM used it, but of course also BLM had deep
appropriate.
Marxist infiltration and elements to it as it evolved into the world, especially by 15, 16. And I've heard that it was a co-opted movement that started organically, and I've heard that that's not true, and I don't know which one of those two is true.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely co-opted, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I'd heard that. I'd seen the videos, but you see a lot of stuff on the internet. You're never quite sure what's 100%. So
the term was co-opted. The term was created by another group of people, and then these group of people took the term and then ran with it.
Right. Yeah. So I think that woke became this kind of slang term that came out of this BLM phenomenon primarily in 15.
Doesn't really matter. What matters is how it's used now.
Take off big until 20.
Hotep Jesus
because I
can
was
cry
thinking
about that all he
earlier
wants.
This afternoon, trying to remember.
If they let their term get
I wrote
co-opted,
an
that's
article
their
saying we
fucking
need
problem.
to name this thing that we're dealing with in 2020, in February 2020, and I did not use the word woke then. I think I would have been familiar with the term, but I didn't think it was the best term to use. So there were debates 4 or 5 years ago about what the best term to use for this thing on the left was, and woke
A debate
became,
I started, by the way.
because the left started using it for themselves, but I don't totally remember, became the thing. And if I'm not wrong, the left started using it for themselves, and then we started calling them woke.
True.
And they were like, "Stop calling us woke. That's bad for us." And then it became, in a sense, the critics of the left took ownership of that word. But the black community had it, then it got stolen, and then we stole it from the left and turned it back on these people. So this is this is like 3 layers of cultural appropriation deep at this point.
Nailed it. That's exactly what happened. So, I just wanted to make sure we put that out there because a lot of black people, feel some type of way about that. I personally feel some type of way about that, because this was like something we use that meant, be leery of government, stay woke, right? Keep your eyes open, be aware. And then now it's like a bad thing. And it's just like, damn, we can't have nothing because white folks keep messing it up, so. So now it's a thing that,
white
again,
folks keep messing it up, James.
I think you would use to loosely describe as Marxism, right?
Not loosely.
I think it's a
not loosely.
I don't know whether it's better to describe it
literally
as,
Marxism.
A loose term
left,
to describe Marxism
right.
as it presents in the world today, or if it's a specific kind of species of Marxism that's, really invested in less class analysis and a lot more identity analysis, which of course is majorly involved with the race analysis that they do, but it extends into sex and sexuality and all the other
everything, James.
Intersectionally, as they say, as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hop into this article you wrote here.
Yes, let's.
Deep dive.
James looks so
the
mad.
Problematic rise of the woke right.
James looks
Says
so
here,
upset.
I call them woke right because they've awoken to the real truth that the rest of us just
Why
don't
is
get.
Reagan highlighted?
They're obnoxious, condescending, like the woke left. Not averse to doxing and mob tactics.
You do the same
thing. They communicate in mass by repeating talking points, and dissent gets you excommunicated. Now, I just want to point at this next part, and I'll let you take it from there. Politics is performative. When you said that, I said, man, this is what I've been saying. It seems like everybody's out here, putting on a performance. And some other stuff you said in this blog as well.
Someone's putting on a performance.
That really dug deep into what this thing really is. But let's talk about this. Let's break down this first paragraph here. Doxing and mob tactics. I've seen that happen. I've seen the obnoxious and condescending like the woke left. But I think the real
James
big
is
issue
defining
here
woke
is
as anyone he doesn't like.
what I say is they've sort of lowered the bar for conservative excellence. Now it's just
James isn't a conservative.
Talking points. It's like you don't even know how to explain your side, your argument. You're just repeating what other people say.
I hear that a lot. I see that a lot. I want to make it this is already going to be, like you called it, a big brain conversation. This is already going to be complicated. I want to make it more complicated so we don't get too many people. I don't mind, as you can tell, making people mad, but I don't like making people mad unfairly. Right. So if they get mad at me, I want to deserve it, or something like that. So there's factions of woke right that don't agree with one another, and they don't all believe the same thing, and they don't all use the same tactics. I think that, for the purposes of a simple conversation, we can say that there's a more dignified woke right, and then there's these kind of animals that call themselves groypers running around hating basically everything, right?
Okay.
These animals called that's very dehumanizing, James.
And they do little less is understatement. They're extremely less dignified.
Why would
then there's this weird, I don't know, they sometimes call themselves Bronze Age, but they, identify as perverts for themselves. And maybe that's a joke, and maybe it's not, and maybe I just don't get the joke. But these people are also pretty crude and crass and get into some pretty, weird behavior. Some of it's trolling, some of it's, being avant-garde and provocative on the internet. But then you get the swarms on anything you post on Twitter, the nasty talk, the name calling. And I mean, they're vicious with the names. The lying.
No.
The lying is infinitely bigger than the doxing. I don't think they do a ton of doxing. They do a little bit of doxing, but man, do they lie. I think
you know
by the
about
end
lying,
of the hour,
don't you,
we're all
James?
going to be working for Jews or something like that. Just as one lie that they tell about everybody. I don't know where you get your money, but it's probably from Jews, according to them, by the end of the minute. And it's constant like that. Like, I'm not really put off by this. I'm not uncomfortable, but I hear, or read 1,000 times a day that I'm gay. I've been married like 20 years to the same woman. I'm not very gay. They just make stuff up. James hates Christians. I don't hate Christians. What in the heck? They just make stuff up. And this I also associated with, the idiotic online culture war of the left. 10 years ago. It was, we hated women, or we hated gay people, or we hated black people. We hated
women.
somebody. And I'm like, I'm just trying to pay the bills. I don't have time to hate people, and it's like, what's going, and nobody knows what's going on. And so the more dignified side of this lies in a little bit more sophisticated way. The less dignified side is this kind of very gross name calling, trolling kind of thing. But I think that that's in fact a defining characteristic, is that they are willing to tell whatever falsehood they need to tell in order to advance their agenda. And I saw that a lot with the left, but the left was mostly just like exaggerating things. You criticize a feminist, now you hate women, and then it just goes off into some spiral. When these guys, the dignified side, you criticize them, you hate Christians, you're a neocon, you just want to bring the 90s back, like all these kind of crazy accusations that don't make any sense. And this tactic was the one that really got my attention originally, and said the word
James
woke
is
sticks to
describing
these people
himself.
like glue.
Yep.
You said you think the word woke sticks to them like glue. This group of people.
Well, I think
they're less dignified.
Maybe I should say that both, but I think it fits, right? And then you start calling them woke, right? And look how they act. They flip out.
I mean, I see them in the chat. They hate you, bro. Like, what did you do?
Oh yeah. By the way, I did the most unforgivable thing you can do with the splinter movement. I exposed them, and they really. I mean, your chat is probably going to be pretty horrifying tonight. They really don't like me.
We really don't like you because you're a liar.
I tried to hate you too. To be honest with you, I'm like, okay, what's there to hate? So I look into your stuff. I'm like, I can't find the part to hate. So, what I thought
I'm a
it
jackass
was
online. You can hate that. That's cool.
I'm an asshole. So, I probably would like that part. But,
we can bro.
All right. We can bring the bar down. We can bring the bar down like 3 or 4
and you mentioned
notches.
this in an article.
The bar can come
it's
down.
It's all good when you criticize.
Say whatever the fuck
but
you want.
as soon as you criticize the
I don't
right,
even
then
care.
You're a Zionist. You're paid by Jews. You're an insurgent. You're a leftist. And it's just like, well, can we really discuss ideology? And I made this tweet the other day where I said the snakes in your backyard are scarier or more of a danger, more of a threat than the snakes across the street in your neighbor's yard. So we might want to check out the people in the conservative movement who are ruining things. And, again, I come back to this point where I don't like that the bar has been lowered.
Did I get banned?
For who has a voice.
I think I got banned.
It's like you stick to the talking points and you get elevated, and it's just like, but they're not experts. Like they didn't read anything. They didn't publish anything. They didn't write anything. They're just saying stuff that they can't actually support. So yeah, I've seen a lot of the woke right online, and most of the people in the chat that are mad at you seem to be of the undignified type.
Well, we'll just wave to him here. I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to do? But gosh, I forgot what I was going to say, trying to be funny with these guys. I was going to say something about these replies or whatever else. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to it.
I want to know about the religion thing before we get into some of the ideas in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they feel like you hate Christians? Did you criticize the evangelists or the church? Or
no? The thing is I work with Christians more than any other group in this country, primarily evangelicals and occasionally Catholics. I have
James shouldn't be working with Catholics.
Dozens of churches across the country that have had me come speak, that I've attended their services, that I've gone to break bread with the pastors and get to know the church congregation. I have wonderful relationships with Christians. Now, it is fair to say that I am not Christian. And so I'm an outsider to that, but I've been very welcomed by, like I said, dozens, if not 100 or more churches across the country right now, that I could show up, and these people would put me up. There'd be no question. We'd have a great week. I'd probably go to their church service. I might get to speak. This is a fantastic relationship. I don't want to go full Trump and say nobody's done more for Christianity than me, but I've been really generous in a lot of, my time and effort. I try to make it very easy to get me there, very affordable to have me. If I have a speaking fee or whatever, it's pretty low usually, unless they offer outright. I've really put a lot of effort into working with churches. Well, the thing is
they pinned
the thing
mills
with
for
the religion,
liberty.
what I have done
My
is that one of these
Kamaj.
respectable factions
Well
or set
done.
of
They
factions
pinned
of the woke
mills
right, in
for
my
liberty.
estimation, are these people that call themselves Christian nationalists.
Oh.
Or sometimes they call themselves the new Christian right. And obviously that's the target of my hoax, was the new Christian right, so to speak, because I understand that faction better than some of the others. That so, you know, you work with what you know, you don't fly off the handle and just repeat
We're not
talking
even
points or whatever else.
Christian.
Right.
And so
I'm not even a Christian.
I am it's said, I'm trying to figure out the way to word this right. The narrative is that I hate Christians, but the fact is that to say that I hate Christians is exactly the same as when the ACLU or the Southern Poverty Law Center or whatever comes out and says that I hate gay people because I criticize the queer theory movement, right? So if I criticize a drag queen in a classroom, they say, hey, look, James hates the LGBTQ movement. That's LGBTQ hate. James hates gay people. I don't hate gay people either. I don't have any problem with people. Just, you know the difference between adult and child, know the difference between public and private, and deal with that. You know,
Right.
as long as we're on the right sides of that stuff, we're all good.
Right.
Like, whatever. What does that have to do with anything? It's not my business and I'm not interested. So this is the same. You criticize Christian
Most of the viewers in the
nationalists,
chat
and
right
the
now
people
are
that
us.
are
We
Christian
own their
nationalists say,
fucking
and
chat,
probably
guys.
are Christian, say that they're Christian, and they probably are Christian.
We're gonna get a good
So they
say
say, "Look, James
capitalism
is
in there too.
criticizing
Just not yet.
Christians."
Not yet. Not
Like
yet.
me,
Not yet.
right?
Not yet.
They are the people I'm criticizing are Christians, and they just do what the philosophers would call a hasty generalization and accuse me of hating all Christians, when I don't even hate the people I'm accusing of being up to misdeeds. And so this is a deflectionary tactic. And again, when we talk about why would we call these people woke, do they use woke tactics, right? The woke tactic is, if you criticize a feminist, you're criticizing women. If you criticize a critical race theorist spouting nonsense, you're criticizing people of color or blacks or whatever. If you are criticizing a drag queen in front of a bunch of kids twerking, all of a sudden you're criticizing gay people. And then if you criticize a Christian nationalist who does not believe in the Constitution any longer, as an American citizen, you say, I don't think that that's right. You're attacking Christians. It's the same trick.
All right, let's stop right there. I want to just understand something about you. What's your relationship with God?
The word that I typically use is that I'm agnostic, right? So this is a big question. It's, in fact, in my opinion, it's a bigger question than I know how to answer.
Yeah, exactly. Remember
right?
the
So
time he
that's
demonized
agnostic.
Archangel
Is there a God?
Michael?
I don't know. Do I think that I'm God? Most certainly not. Do I think that I'm big enough to understand these things on a profound level? No, actually, I don't. So I have to accept that there is an awful lot in the universe that I don't know, that I don't understand, that I have to give respect for, that I have to defer away from. I can't just assume.
So somebody would assume that you're an atheist, but you don't use that term.
I used to use that term, so it makes it even more easy for them to understand that. But I've kind of I've backed off. I grew up in a Catholic church that I didn't enjoy. Some people assume it must have been abusive or something because of these rumors that, circulate. It wasn't. Everything was fine. It was just boring for kids to attend mass. Frankly.
I was raised Catholic, so I concur.
Yeah, it's just like, nothing against mass, but it's boring for kids. Like, that's just a state of objective fact. Maybe that's good for kids, maybe it's not, but I certainly wasn't interested. Yeah. And so I just kind of washed out, and
this is so
I
fun.
saw
This
these
feels so
crazy,
good. I'm getting out so much aggression.
Like the Baptist TV
Are you guys getting out
channel,
some
the
aggression?
TBN
This
or whatever.
is great.
And you had these guys that were going on there like doing like the faith healing and all this, and I was like, this is obnoxious. And I think those people radicalized me, so I decided that I was going to be an atheist or whatever, in my 20s, and got all pissed off, and it was like, oh, religion's oppressive. I got all pissed off about that and had like a whole fit. I look back at that new atheist thing and I'm like, that's a woke thing. That's like, oh, religion's oppressing me and it's a terrible structure. And I've grown out of all that. I grew out of that, a decade ago, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. I wouldn't go into saying something like I'm spiritual but not religious. That's not true. But, I'm definitely open to it.
Do you have a spiritual practice?
I don't have a specific practice, no, but I'm pretty reverent. I think about these things a lot. And I was about to say, I have a friend whose father just had a heart attack, and she said, will you pray for my father? And I was like, yeah. And so I did. I don't know if it does anything or not. I honestly don't, but yeah, I'm going to. And if it does, fantastic. And I'm glad I helped. I show gratitude. I don't know to what, virtually every morning.
Do you pray over your food?
No, typically not my food.
But you pray in the morning?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what it is.
You're showing
I mean,
gratitude.
I don't do this whole thing like Father God, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah, amen. Like I just kind of think thoughts. And one of the thoughts that I thought about the woke right for like the last year is like, I just catch myself like thinking this, like I will go out for a walk and I'm thinking, turn their hearts like you turned mine. And I'm thinking that is that praying? I guess that's praying. Do I
Turn
believe
their
that it's
hearts?
reaching, a receiver? I don't know.
James,
I don't know. But
we
it's like,
go based
it's
on
a thing to
evidence,
be
not
meditating on that
based
at least.
on feelings.
It's good. It's orienting,
So
right?
sort
Because
of
then I have to reflect on what happened with me to change my mind about a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and then I have to reflect on how I hope to see that change in other people.
Yeah.
And if that's all it is, it's still good. And
It's
if it's
glorious.
more than that,
It's beautiful.
I'm
It's the
happy
best
for
we've
it to
ever
be
done.
that.
It's our
All
best
right.
work.
So
it's our finest hour.
undecided. You're undecided.
Yeah.
You're looking for more information, more clues, more proof, more evidence, more experience before you make a jump. I can respect that. I respect that. So let's come back to Christian nationalists. What's the critique of Christian nationalists?
Well,
We're
there's a
not
number
Christian.
of them because first of all, nobody knows what the word means, right? So there's a suite of meanings to this word, and I'm not being like I looked into it, and there are different people who have very different definitions. This is an easy term to have given a definition to. And the people churches love to have little committees and set up like a statement, and everybody agrees to the statement. And there's no statement on what Christian nationalism means. I think there is actually one, but it's like one of these fringe groups, and not very many people have signed on to it. So on the one hand, I hear a lot of people say, "Well,
We
got
to keep this going for the whole thing." Allison's got to postpone her movie night.
And I'm
Hang
like,
on.
that's not a very deep.
I'm going to tell
definition.
Allison
On
to
the other
delay
hand,
her movie, the
I
start of
read-
her movie
you know, I
night for
hear
like
people
half an
say,
hour.
I wish that America was more invested in Christian belief, that more Americans were Christian and active in their faith. And okay, I can, and I'm I believe in America. There's always the "and I believe in America" part, and I can respect that. I'd like to see more Christians involved in civic roles, civic life, whether it's committees or the elected officials or whatever. I actually agree with that. I'm not doing very good at my hating Christians yet. Because why? Because the majority of Christians who are good people that I've met understand very clearly that their role in public office is as servant. Their goal is to serve the public and to serve their God, and to do it in an honorable, respectable way. And if they're really Christian, they know God's watching if they're corrupt. So they're, in some ways a little more immune to corruption, which is a huge temptation for any civil servant.
Yeah.
So, and then it starts getting dark after that. Then you start having people, well, there's one more kind of, neutral ground, which is the American experiment was in fact Christian at its founding, and it was mostly Christian people all along. We're culturally Christian. We celebrate Christmas, and we celebrate Easter and so on.
Wait, stop right there. Stop right there. Christmas ain't Christian.
Well,
oh, here we go.
The Christians think it's Christian. And
all right, let's just get past that. Go ahead, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't really buy into the idea that America was founded as a Christian nation. I understand the arguments. I think that they are not correct. And if we're going to get into the religious beliefs of the founders, that's a hot mess,
right?
Including a lot of Freemasonry, which is visible on the $1 bill all over the place, for example, and then all over Washington D.C. But anyway, then we get into scary crap, right? When we start getting into the theocracy stuff, and some of this is what the Christian theologians call theonomy. And then it starts getting into full-blown, the Christians should rule the world with a Christian prince, or should run the country with a Christian prince, which is an office higher than the president of the United States and everything else. And everything that the government does has to be bounced off of this highest authority, who's literally meant to be the avatar of God bestriding the earth, which I'm a little bit leery of, I think. And it often includes things like blasphemy laws and, killing heretics and or jailing them, forced belief. And so I'm not really down with that far end of it. But when I say the theonomy thing, by the way, that means God's law. And so it means that God's law is sovereign. And so everybody has to live by God's law. Usually the Christian belief in general is that Non-believers are held to a different standard. They are not expected to follow God's law, but Christians are to hold themselves to that higher standard and follow God's law. And so the theonomists very frequently devise, kind of schemes by which you can apply God's law. They're sort of like the Muslims that want to.
We've given him so many viewers
Sharia,
tonight, and they're just shitting on us in the chat.
But with Christian
We've
belief
given him
instead.
so many new
So they
subscribers.
devise schemes by which people
That's
are
all right.
like technically Christian and therefore subject to God's law, even though they
No
didn't
arguing with
technically,
people in the chat. Just
fully
focus on
convert and have the
James.
change in their heart that's supposed to be the Christian conversion experience. And I'm pretty leery of those people too. But when I say that, I mentioned that Christian Prince thing, which sounds like batshit crazy, that's in the book, The Case for Christian Nationalism, that the guy was reviewing, that this is kind of one of their gold standard books on the issue of Christian nationalism. So it's my go-to. When people say, what does Christian nationalism mean? I very frequently defer
literally
to say,
no one
this
would
is
be
the kind
watching
of
if
gold
we weren't
standard
there. We're
book.
doing them a favor.
This is what it says.
It's true.
Christian Prince, punishing heretics and non-believers and all the rest. But the book's almost 500 pages long and says a lot of things that are less crazy too. So which ones are you supposed to believe? So how do I define Christian nationalist? I don't know. I don't know which one of those things works, but the law of intolerance says that whichever faction is most intolerant will probably win over time if you tolerate the whole thing. And then meanwhile, I've also been in a lot of trouble for saying that Christian nationalism is an op. And I got that from reading the federal government's documents about Christian nationalism, where they've named this the true cause of January 6th. Instead of Trump's rhetoric, it's now Christian nationalism, the thing that bound together all of the different factions of January 6th mayhem was obviously Christian nationalism. And they profile a bunch of people that are just Christians and say, look, they're a Christian nationalist because, they prayed for the health and well-being of our nation in public. It's pretty scary. And that is an op because, first of all, there's the January 6th Select Committee is like laying it out I can send you the document if you want to see it. It's crazy. But it's laid out and they say that they have objectives with it. So, we've got to stop Christian nationalism from causing another insurrection. And to do that, they give two policy suggestions. One is to create greater restrictions to prevent Christians from displaying or practicing their faith in public office. And the second one is to, what boils down to it, I don't remember the wording, but what it boils down to is creating a surveillance system over the churches to make sure that they're not hotbeds of what the woke assholes in the federal government call white domestic extremism. Yeah, I'm like.
So to be clear, you don't agree with that, the decisions from the committee, right?
Hell no.
Right.
Hell no. Like, let people have their faith and leave them alone.
Yeah.
And that's my whole angle, by the way, on faith, which is this country is about religious liberty. And so I'm not going to tell you how to believe, and I don't want you to tell me how to believe, and I don't want the government telling anybody how to believe.
Yeah. Well, let's come back to something that I want to point out that could be a point of vulnerability.
Sure.
When we talk about Christian nationalism and you say that you rely on this
James
one
looks
book
like he doesn't have a soul.
that could be deemed a flaw, usually when I, check out a subject matter, I like to have the pro, the con, and the guy in the middle. So I would use at least 3 different volumes before I have a critique of said thing. And
Sure.
And also if it's old, maybe something new too, right? Because things change.
True.
Like people change, times change, technology, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a
So I can
great
see
question,
how
Lisa.
people
I'm gonna
might have
ask
a lot
that
of
in the
pushback
chat.
when you refer
James,
to only one document.
why do
there's
we
another book that I
watch
read some of. I didn't read all of
who
it. That's
make
by
more
Andrew
sense
Torba and
than
Andrew
you
Isker.
do?
Andrew Torba is the CEO of Gab. And I don't know if you know him.
I
but
know
he's pretty
Andrew.
Yeah, okay. So Andrew Torba and Andrew Isker wrote a book about Christian nationalism as well. I've read some, but not all of that one.
Okay.
I normally
How's that one?
do, as a busy man, I normally try to delegate a lot of stuff. Like, this isn't my bailiwick, right? My bailiwick is Karl Marx and his intellectual descendants.
Right.
Say capitalism in the chat. Say capitalism,
James. I
James.
know Bill Roach is one guy, for example.
Everyone,
that's a
say
theologian
capitalism in the
who
chat.
think this is
Everyone
very
right now,
important and very
say
interesting, and
capitalism.
they read all of this stuff, and I defer to them. And granted, that's
Everyone, say
risky.
capitalism.
I can't outsource all of my knowledge to them, but I don't try to be an expert in everything. Is basically what I'm saying.
Well, how would you
try to-
contrast the 500-page book to the little bit that you read from Andrew Torba? Was there a lot of things that overlapped? Were there differences? Was it?
I mean, they're actually pretty different books. I mean, I think their goals are different. So Stephen Wolfe in his book, The Case for Christian Nationalism, which is roughly 500 pages, his goal is he calls it a thought experiment. That he says that he wants to run through just kind of a set of ideas. He is not really deeply grounded in Scripture. In fact, he says he's not going to be deeply grounded in Scripture, and a lot of Christians criticize the book for not being. It's not citing Scripture here and there.
That's flawed. Yeah.
Well, he sees it as a work primarily of political theory, and I'm not going to jump up and down about this. I'm just going to take his book as it is. But a lot of Christians have had a huge issue with that.
Can't do that.
Everyone say whiteness means capitalism.
I tend to agree.
Whiteness
claim
means
Christian
capitalism. Everyone ready?
And then just discard the Bible. No, you've got to adhere
whiteness
to the Bible.
Means capitalism.
I
this is
think
really going to piss off Hotep Jesus. Whiteness means capitalism. Everyone go.
Right.
Yeah.
So Torba
and Isker's book is it's smaller. It's a lot lighter in reading, and it's just kind of a historical survey in part, talking about how the history of America has always been rooted in Christian ideals and Christian,
the Hoteps are not going to like that. I'll tell you that right now.
And it's kind of a general argument that the country would be better off living up to that so-called Judeo-Christian or Christian heritage. I think more specifically, especially with Andrew Torba, Christian heritage. But it's a much lighter read. It doesn't take the kind of swings to the fences that Stephen Wolfe takes, which is kind of surprising knowing Andrew Torba, because he's kind of a swing to the fences kind of character with Gab and some of the free speech stances he's taken through owning Gab. But it's a much lighter.
What do you think his goals are, if you had to take a guess, with Christian nationalism?
Whose?
Torba. Yeah.
At the time when he wrote the book, I would say the book reflects kind of one of these kind of middle positions that we were describing on that kind of sort of spectrum earlier. And so maybe that's what it is. His posts and the articles that he writes for Gab, for whatever reason, I don't know how I ended up getting the Gab newsletter, but I get the
Nick,
Gab
you got a
newsletter
gift
in my email.
subscription.
And I don't read them all the time, but I read them some of the time.
That's funny.
His vision seems a little bit more radical now. And in particular, his vision includes that it's time for us. This was an article I read about a little over a year ago in the email newsletter I got, which is called Balkanize and Build. Right. And so the idea is.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what?
Balkanize and Build.
When did this drop? When did this drop?
It's over a year ago.
Wait, this sounds familiar. Balkanize and Build?
Balkanize and Build. And maybe you can find it. I don't know. Gab. Balkanize.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Balkanize and Build. The path
I told
forward.
you the Hoteps weren't going to like whiteness means capitalism. I told you guys. That's all right. We don't have to argue with
it
them.
sounded very familiar. Okay.
When did this drop? This dropped after the red wave failed to materialize after the election in November of 2022. So it's 2 years old.
All right.
And so his answer to that was, it's time to Balkanize the country, at least culturally. The path forward, Balkanize and Build. Voting harder isn't going to cut it, as the last election just disproved. He says we have to build. The existing system will collapse. It's not a matter of if, but when. When that happens, we need to have Christian infrastructure in place to fill the power vacuum. The Amish have had it right this entire time. Their communities are growing and thriving. They will continue to do well. We must become a form of neo-Amish, building sovereign communities and families away from Babylon. Technology is okay and a good tool. It is something we can use
James
to our
wants us
advantage
all to become Amish?
to build and to engage in commerce with one another. We are the new pilgrims. We must move to deep red states, push them further right, build and secure a future for our families. Forget politics at the national level. That rigged game is over. Focus on state and local elections, not what is going on in D.C. Conservatism has failed.
That's actually correct.
And I'm like,
Interesante. Okay.
yeah. So when I read stuff like that, I'm like, well, maybe his views are a little more extreme now.
How do you interpret that? If you were to boil it down and spit it back
Oh, he's
out
talking
to
about
somebody, how
Torba.
would you
Sorry.
explain that to a 15-year-old?
To a 15-year-old.
More beer.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like what Torba is saying is that
Last beer.
the government regime, now we'll contextualize this.
Everyone
this was
having
in
fun?
2022.
Hold on,
So the
pause right there.
Democrats were in
Hold
the
on, pause right there. Mods in the kick chat. If people are spamming the same thing, just ban them. You can give them a 24-hour ban. If they're acting weird, just ban them. I don't care. They're not going to stick around
Don't say
anyway.
the same
So
thing.
just
No one say the same
feel
thing
free
anymore.
To just smack
You
anybody
don't
in the head
agree
with the ban
with
hammer.
free
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
speech?
No, I love that. I feel that in my soul
Wow,
sometimes.
Hotep Jesus exposed.
Yeah, so I would tell him, first of all, let's
Hotep
remember that the
Jesus wants to
Democrats were
ban
fully
people who
empowered
says
and
things
that
he
there was
doesn't
this
like.
widely predicted
Why
red
are
wave
you
coming.
banning
Lots of Republicans were
people
supposed to win House
for
and Senate
questioning
seats that
your
did not
guest?
materialize.
Sounds
the Senate ended up falling
No
by
one
one,
say the same
and then
thing.
the,
No one
House
say the same
was a
thing.
narrow
Everyone
margin, but not
totally
kind of a very
unique
safe
chats.
margin, to
No
the
one say the
Republicans.
same thing
And
anymore.
so what he's saying is, look at the federal politics situation.
We
he
have
said
it
that
all on
it's
video. If
himself, it's
Hotep
a
Jesus
rigged
wants to
game.
ban people for
It
free
is not
speech, we
going to
have
allow
that on
conservatives in
video.
any longer. So what we have to do is a radically different plan. We give up on national politics, and what we have to do is consolidate our power where we have it, where we can get it. So we're all going to move to deep into the red states. We're going to get into the deep heart of, flyover country or wherever that happens to be. And then we're going to build intentional communities around our values and concentrate political power there as kind of refuges and bastions and castles up against the national politic, which is turned against us. And it started with voting harder.
But we're recording you banning people
get us out of this.
for
So we're not going
expressing
to worry
ideas
about
that you
trying
don't
to figure
like.
out how to get, say, Trump in the White House again come 25. We're
Hotep
going to
Jesus
put our energy
is
into
just
state
as
and local
bad
efforts,
as
and we're going
James.
to collect ourselves. We're going to move out of California where we can't win. We're going to move out of New York where we can't win. We're going to move out of New Jersey where we can't win. And we're going to flood, I guess, Oklahoma where we can win. And we're going to consolidate our power there. And the way we're going to consolidate our power, he said, was that we're going to build intentional Christian communities to make sure that that's what we're going to
If they ban me, that's fine. I don't really care.
structure in those communities. Now, as we know, there are Christians and there are Christians, so it's an open question
woke
as
to
who
ban. Oh, I'm
those are gonna
banned!
be,
I
or
just
whether
got
they're gonna
banned!
be
I
the
just got
same.
banned!
Is
I
it,
just got
all the
banned!
Baptists
I
gonna
just
go
got
to
banned!
Oklahoma and all the
Hotep
Presbyterians
Jesus
gonna
just
go to
banned
Idaho?
me for
Like, where are
calling him
people
out
going?
for banning
Right?
people.
Are they all,
I'm
are
on
they
banning
coming to
his
the same
ass on
places?
Twitter, so I can
That's
say that.
not answered by this. So we don't know if these are going to be kind
Hang
of
on.
one denomination, multi-denomination, but we're going to collect our power. Now, this is a program that actually has you can hear his despair too. Conservatism has failed, blah, blah, blah.
Hotep,
Right.
I'm tweeting this right now.
So this is a
Hotep Jesus is
despairing kind of
banning
lament.
people
But the goal, he said, is
in
to
his
balkanize.
chat
So we're going to
who
move ourselves to our own intentional communities. We're
ideas
going to wall
he
ourselves off. We're going to
disagrees
make our kind
with.
of own small little fiefdoms.
He
And what we're going to
is
do is
the
build within
woke
those so that we
right.
build and consolidate our strength, and we can operate maybe outward from those, which is a strategic way to go about
I'm going to put the
things.
link in the
Maybe it's not
chat
the
with
best
the
strategy,
tweet,
but
guys.
it is
Hang
a
on. I
strategy.
need everyone
Maybe
to
it's a
retweet
good
this
strategy,
and
but
talk
either way,
on
I'm
it.
just saying it's strategic, not with a thumbs
Give me
up
1
good
second for the link in the
strategy or
chat.
thumbs down bad strategy attached. It is strategic thinking.
You guys
that
will
may
be
or may
my
not
voice
good,
in the
good
chat.
Strategy. That what I would tell you now. That's the 15-year-old. What I'll tell you is the fact of the background knowledge that I have is this is a program that was outlined in a book in 2009.
I need everyone.
Called The Big Sort.
Bookmark
And
this
I'm
tweet.
trying to remember who wrote The Big Sort.
Reply
I used to be
to
able
it.
Just rattle that off.
Like
I
it.
processed a lot of information this week. My brain's a
Retweet.
little
No, I
blinky.
get it. So
tweet.
let me hop in
Tag
right there.
Hotep Jesus.
Chat, if it's somebody you think I would cuss out on an average show, just block them.
Everyone,
Coach said they really be watching
everyone.
HJ. Listen, bro.
Amplify that tweet.
I need my 10%. I need my 10%.
Amplify that
Anyway,
tweet. I'm putting it in the group chat too.
I don't really see nothing wrong with that. Would you agree with me? I think that's it's a solid plan that Alex has there. I'm sorry, Andrew has. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a plan, but that's what I was starting to say. It's a plan.
We're
And I don't
giving
know
him
if it's a
half
good
his
plan.
audience
I
right
understand
now.
the strategy.
Mhm.
I understand
He should
consolidate
show some
restraints.
fucking respect.
I also understand that what you're doing then is creating, electoral supermajorities in, say, California, New York, New Jersey, or
No
whatever.
excuses.
And
Everyone
seeing how New
amplify
York and New
this.
Jersey moved in this last election, that might not have been the best strategy. Imagine if all those conservatives who moved to Tennessee and who moved to Oklahoma and who moved to Florida had stuck it out in New York, and how it wasn't close, but it was closer than anybody expected. Or if they'd stuck it out in New Jersey, not that anybody should be stuck in, some city they don't want to live in. So I get that. So I don't know if it's a good or bad strategy, but I do know it's part of a broader strategy that's called the Big Sort. And the Big Sort is to get increased
Why
polarization
can't
in the country by creating
Hotep
very
Jesus
blue regions and very red regions that are more and more estranged from one another. And so you end up with
Deal
a
with
huge surplus of, say,
intellectual
Democrats in California,
disagreement.
huge surplus of Republicans, say, Oklahoma.
Is he
barely
too
talk to each
low
other.
IQ?
It's, harder and harder to run things at the federal level. Is that going to be good or bad for us to be able to continue as a single nation? Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But that's the plan. Now, there are some subsidiary effects to this program. One of which is that
Guys,
California,
keep going in the
which
chat,
has
but
a
be nice.
population,
Let me know if anyone
that's
else
just
gets
brimming
banned.
to the gills with.
Let me
with
know if
people,
anyone
like
else
how
gets
many
banned.
Tens and 20s of, what is it, 50-something million people live in California, right? I forgot the number.
Are they
53,
banning
54
anyone
million
else?
people. It's an absurdly large number. Now imagine if that's safely 75, 85%, because all the
If
conservatives
they
move
ban
out
you,
and they go
leave
to
their
Oklahoma.
chat.
So
Don't
now
give
you
him
have,
the fucking views.
56
If they
or
ban you,
54,
leave the
whatever it is,
chat.
electoral votes completely locked up in California for sure to the Democrats. And you have a surplus 8 or 9 million people that you can now move to, say, Tennessee, who are left all together, who can then flip Tennessee blue. Or they can move and sandbag Texas and flip Texas blue.
Everyone quote tweet
because
that.
you know that it's a secure
Retweet,
majority,
quote
right?
tweet, tag
This
the
is a
shit
very,
out of
very,
Hotep Jesus.
sophisticated political maneuver. And of course, are you really going to move that many people? Well, you can, job transfers and whatever else. All you got to do is help pressure to relocate their company out of California with its awful tax laws into Texas, and you have oceans of Californian people who are going to get paid to relocate to Texas. And we've seen tons of
Tag the
companies do
shit
that.
out of
So
this
it's
fucking
a plausible
grifter.
plan.
Tag the shit out of
But
this
the Big
low
Sort was actually
IQ
meant to
fucking
increase
grifter
polarization, not decrease
who doesn't want
polarization in
anyone
the United
intellectually
States.
disagreeing
And
with
so
him
I
running
understand
cover
the
for
impulse
James
for
fucking
sure,
Lindsay.
because I don't like being around people that drive me nuts.
Hotep
and
Jesus
that,
is complicit
you know,
because he's
are
too fucking
lunatics
stupid
and
to
that
know what's
create
going
laws
on.
like some of this transgender laws that California is passing every other day.
Let's put a bookmark in the conversation. I want to get to some more big brain shit.
Sorry.
You're not capable of big brain shit, bro. You're too dumb. You're too dumb. Low IQ. Like I've always said, low IQ. 75 at best, Hotep Jesus. 75 at best, bro.
Where when people come,
Hotep is
they
a
gotta
grifter.
talk, and I think
got
what you
you,
provided
Mr.
was valuable.
Mister.
Tune in and drop out. Thank you for the $20 super. I see people on YouTube looking to ask questions. If you ain't
It's
putting no
on
money in my
YouTube?
pocket, I don't give a fuck about what you think.
Oh,
Thank you,
wait.
mods, for swatting those fools out of the chat.
Hang
Christian
on.
nationalism.
We'll go over to your YouTube, Hotep Jesus. Don't worry about it. Everyone want to go to his YouTube?
I'm going to attempt to
Hang
make some
on.
sense of what it is.
Hang on.
The most important part of Christian nationalism is the nationalism.
We'll go over to your YouTube, asshole.
That's
Everyone
the thing
that's
that's
banned,
really
I want you
going
over
to
in his
bind it together.
YouTube.
Okay, because once you get into Christian, it's
I'm going to give you the link in a
it's
second.
a whole bunch of
If you're still in his
interpretations of what
kick,
that
be in
is,
his
right?
kick. But we're
nationalism
going over
we
to
can
his
kind of
YouTube.
nail down, right? Nation comes first.
Let me get the link.
Now this has to be a merger of Christian of religion and the state.
This is
Would you
only
agree
if
with
you
that?
are banned. If you are
I
if you are
think so,
not
but-
banned, you
excuse
stay
me,
in the
but there's
kick.
lighter versions
5 fucking
where,
hours.
it
Oh,
just
never
means,
mind. We might not be
that
able
the
to do
state
it then.
becomes the church becomes
We
a,
might not be able to do it.
recognized
5
advisory to the
hours.
state, for
Fuck.
example.
Never mind. We can't do YouTube.
I mean,
Never
Trump's kind of
mind.
even doing this,
What
right?
a
He's creating that office of
pussy.
faith or whatever. I forgot what he's
What
calling
a
it.
pussy you are.
Where
Hotep
they've always
Jesus
had a
is
White House
such
faith
a
advisor,
fucking
as far
cuck,
back as I
man.
can remember.
Do I have a bigger dick than Hotep Jesus?
So that's like Christian nationalism light.
Yeah, and like for the record, that doesn't. I'm not really. I don't
Do
really
I
object to that.
have a bigger
Church is
dick
supposed to advise
than
people, so I don't know how you
Hotep
pick who it's going to be.
Jesus?
I mean, I know how politics work, so it's going to be something dirty.
What could a church advise the government on?
Wait time.
What could they
for
possibly
your
say
YouTube chat?
to government to? I can't think of one
Seriously,
thing.
coward?
Well, I can guarantee you that what in my opinion it should be is that they should be advising the government to avoid taking steps that threaten religious liberty, because their liberty to practice their faith is threatened by any such thing. Of course, the Constitution backs them up, but you can keep somebody
One
out of
if
a
you are
lawsuit
banned in the kick chat. Two if you are not banned in the kick chat.
So situations
One if you're
where
banned in the
a church
kick
doesn't
chat,
want to marry
two if
people of
you're not
opposite
banned in the
sex,
kick
that should
chat.
not be.
I mean, I think
infringed
that's
upon.
where you start getting into this, is where you're going to have churches that are going to start advising on positions of morality, where you're no longer talking about illegality or legality,
Okay,
but now you're talking
looks
about
like a lot of
shouldn'ts
you
and
are not yet
mustn'ts
banned.
for,
Okay,
for various
let's just
faith-based
keep it
reasons.
simple,
And so
keep it
obviously
clear.
the elephant in that
Let's
room
wait
is
for
gonna
our
be the
moment for
abortion
everyone
issue.
who's
They're
not
gonna
banned.
They're going to push that through that. That's
Mr.
going to be the
Mister
kind
is
of key
banned.
and core
Milo
issue.
is banned.
Then there's the stuff kind of
Gala
tied
is banned.
to that that's
Foggy
not
City
the
is
same issue.
actually.
That's
We
related,
could probably
you know,
create new
surrogate
accounts,
parenting,
guys.
in vitro fertilization.
We
and
can
so on, that they're
probably
definitely
create new
gonna be
accounts.
interested, in trying to.
It's only
get
a
in the
3-minute
door.
wait on kick.
The idea, as you
Hang
know,
on.
an advisory would be to say,
If you
know,
want to
Mr.
create another
President,
kick
this
account,
is
you
what
only
the
have to wait
faith,
3 minutes in the
you know,
kick
the
chat.
evangelical faith community in the United States would think on this issue as just an advisory role.
You
And I
guys can
think
go
that
make
that's what
other
the White House
accounts.
faith advisors, I mean, technical duties have always been. Paula White was Trump's
Everyone
first one. I don't know
amplify the
who
shit out of that
Biden
tweet
has,
and
I'm
tweet
pretty sure it
Hotep
doesn't matter.
Jesus.
All right. Sounds like a bunch of people that are lost. I can't get with that whole thing. I can respect it, and I know, but my issue is when people try to legislate morality, and that's why I'm like, for example, some people want to trans their kids, right? And they want and
My
the
dick is
conservatives,
bigger
or
than many
I would
people.
call
It's
them.
certainly
This is what I
bigger
would
than
call.
Hotep
This is a
Jesus
woke
is. I'll
right,
tell you that right now.
stance. Ban transing kids. I think that's a woke right thing.
What?
Do you agree, disagree before I go down the rabbit hole?
Or
would you like
disagree,
to explain?
Hotep
actually.
Jesus believes it's okay to trans kids.
Yeah.
Space
Hang
to
on.
discuss here.
All right, so let me explain my point.
Yeah.
I believe that if you would like to eliminate your family from the gene pool,
Hotep
you
Jesus
should probably have the right to do that. Because when you trans your
just
kid, you're basically
advocated
eliminating
for
that gene pool. And what I'm
transing
saying is that
kids.
when these people
Hang on, I need everyone to amplify this.
end their
is
procreation, that means we don't have to deal with them no
anyone
more.
In his
That means my
chat
kids'
who
don't got to deal with this mental
disagrees
illness because
with
they've
him.
ended the procreation of that gene, because that gene has obviously been corrupted, right?
Okay, I'm putting this
Also,
in the hang on, I'm
this
getting
is
you guys this
people
link. I need
inflating the
everyone to
size of the
amplify
state,
this tweet.
giving the state more
Everyone.
authority over our lives. And the last thing we want to do is give the state more authority over our lives. If you want to do some weird shit with
Hang
your
on,
kids,
let me get it in the
you
in
should
the
have
chat.
every right to.
Hotep Jesus just advocated for transing kids.
Okay, so for me, it comes down to I think that all medical procedures should flow from a position of informed
Hang
consent.
on.
And I actually think in this case, it's not possible to give informed consent.
Bookmark.
Informed consent, explain that.
Reply.
Well,
like,
if you're going to go get a shot,
retweet, quote
up
tweet,
until and excluding
amplify
the COVID vaccine,
the fuck out of
apparently,
this.
they're
Tag
supposed to tell
Hotep
you,
Jesus in that.
This is what the shot
Tag
is. This is what it's supposed to
Hotep
do. These are
Jesus.
They don't. You might not actually listen to them, but they're supposed to tell you what the shot does, what the side effects might be.
Bookmark.
Just kind of general information. What this is for. Why you might do it.
Reply,
and what risks
retweet,
you're
quote
running
tweet.
in order to do it. So and then you say, okay, you can do that, or you sign off.
So wait, let's
depending on
stop right there. So you're saying that I walk into an office and they're offering me some sort of medical procedure,
Unfucking
and the
believable.
onus is on them to disclose all of
He just
the side
advocated
effects.
for transing kids.
As many, yeah, well,
And
at least certainly
harms.
the serious ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Before you say, if they come in and say, yeah, we can make, whatever happen for you, we can make you feel better, but they don't tell you that they're going to cut off your hand in order to get it to
Right.
work. We can make your finger stop hurting. We'll just cut your hand off.
Right.
Okay, guys, I had to update it for a typo. Update the
on
new
the
one.
procedure that
Do
they're
the
going
new one.
They shouldn't be able to intentionally withhold information relevant to the procedure before you agree to the procedure, or else you have a medical malpractice.
I like
right?
that. Yes.
And so, so I think that in this case, informed consent's not possible because the child is the one receiving the treatment and the parent is the one giving the consent. But the parent has no way to know what the future state of that child, what the child's going to want to be or do when they grow up. You look at these detransitioners, right? They're always asking, where was the adult in the room? It wasn't the medical profession. It wasn't the schools. It wasn't my parents. Where is the adult in the room who said, in 5 years, you might regret this? And so, a lot of these kids go through this. They get their breasts lopped off. They get their genitals messed with. They, take what they call hyperphysiological doses of cross-sex hormones or
this is the
blockers.
Quote. This is the quote. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to do this again.
Hang on. They sterilize themselves and whatever.
Another
tweet. What you have
ultimately
is a 12 or a 13 or a 15-year-old person who does not know what they're sacrificing, choosing to make that sacrifice at that age, but then their parent is the one signing off for them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a mismatch there. I do not believe that the patient receiving the treatment can have the informed consent necessary to undergo that particular treatment. Now, I agree with you about the expansion of government and state interference and power point. So I don't agree with you about
asshole. He's now worse than James. He is complicit with James.
On this point, to me, you woke right. Because you worried about somebody else's kids. Somebody else's kids is their business. You need to mind your business. So that's why, to me, once you start, now it starts sounding like liberalism and activism, where you're concerned with other people's children and the future of other people's children, which now you're inserting yourself. If it's not this topic, it'll be another topic. It'll be another reason for the government to get involved. So that's why I separate, and I'm like, nah, if they want to do, I mean, obviously we want to protect children. Like, that is a moral standard that all human beings should have.
Yeah.
But at some point, you've got to say, it's none of my business.
No, I hear you with that, actually, but it's like I feel I would rather let me give it to the government point.
But I'm a savage though, because I'm like, I like I like the way Rome handled things. If your baby came out deformed and they tossed it over the side of the thing, this is just, they practice this purity,
Come
right?
on, guys,
so
we trained for
I
this
think
moment.
that
We
way.
have
I think
trained
like
for this moment.
A savage of the ancients, right? Where you're trying to create purity amongst your family and amongst your race. And it almost leads to like eugenics, right? Like sometimes I sound like a eugenicist when I talk like this, but I think these people are so harmful to society that the best thing that can happen is for them to eliminate themselves from the gene pool.
Well, having met a lot of these people, I get really concerned about that.
Okay.
Because I see these teenage kids getting sucked in by bullshit on the internet, which is what it is 9 times out of 10.
That is true. It's become a trend.
Yeah,
he just advocated for infanticide. Yes, he did.
They're getting failed.
Yes, he did. This is Hotep Jesus. This is why he's a low IQ fucking retard. Like I've always said.
Authority in the world that's like, yeah, we'll lop the healthy tissue off of a 14-year-old girl who's having body issues after she got sexually assaulted by some boy at school, right? So, since the medical establishment has decided not to regulate itself, and since parents, I mean, this is where I get dodgy, because parents should have, the absolute right to direct the upbringing of their children, in my opinion. And like, that's basically it's nobody else's business point, phrased, kind of like constitutional speak. And I don't want the government. I don't think that the government should have to do this, but the fact of the matter is that something is happening.
One in the chat,
and I don't
if you
necessarily
still can
believe
chat
that
in on the
that's a
kick
slippery
stream.
slope, because the
2 in
idea
the chat
of
if you cannot
do
chat
not
in on the kick
remove
stream.
Healthy
1 in the chat if you can
tissue
chat in.
From
2 in the
a
chat if you
child
can't.
for what amounts to a cosmetic
Let me do a little
procedure.
assessment here.
Like, that's a pretty definitive, a pretty bright line. And the regulation is not on the parents, and the regulation is not on the children. The regulation is on the medical
I see lots of
profession
friendlies in the
itself.
chat.
which is acting, in my opinion, in gross malpractice based on activist perversion
Lots of
their,
ones.
of their
They've
core
banned a
principles.
lot of people
First,
tonight.
do no harm is supposed to be the first principle of medicine, and you got to mentally ill.
I want
or
everyone who can still
traumatized. A lot
chat
of times
in
these are girls, right, who got
to
felt
say,
up at school, or some teacher, or some coach, some
follow
weirdo feels them
Carlin.
up. They get horrified about their own body, as a lot of young women do as they go through puberty.
What should we say? Grand
And
finale,
you got
because
these
most of
weirdos
us
on
are
the
banned
internet
now. So
telling
like,
them,
what can
well,
we
maybe
say?
it's actually, there's a way out of this.
Oh, hang on,
And then
hang on.
The doctors are like,
One, if
hell
you,
yeah, cash
sorry,
money.
I'm
they get
confusing
paid
my
for
numbers.
life.
This is my fault.
They get paid.
Let's
and then
do
they
this
get
again.
pharmaceuticals for life. You
Okay,
got
I'm
the
confusing my
expensive
numbers. I've had
surgeries.
too much
These
beer.
are like
Clean
expensive
slate.
Yeah, like if
procedures.
I'm going to send my kids to school,
One,
if
you
to be
can
a doctor,
still
I'm
chat
like, listen, it's
in.
going to be a good career for
Two, if you're
detransitioning
banned.
in about 10 years.
One,
you
if
might
you can
want to
still
line
chat
yourself up
in.
for
Two, if you
detransitioning
are
surgery.
banned. Okay, everyone
We
can still
are-
chat in. Okay.
Well, I didn't say for
Yeah, everyone
doctors.
can
I've
still
been saying
chat
it
on
for
Twitter.
lawyers for several years. I got
That's
to
a
speak
good
on college
point. Maybe
campuses.
we
I'm
should
like,
do
you want to
that.
major in law? You need to go into medical.
Okay,
Oh,
everyone
yes.
still has
Also
it. Never
true.
mind.
Good point.
Never mind.
Ka-ching.
Never mind. I was wrong.
But
Never
I mean,
mind.
So
I agree.
James,
I
so
don't
James,
want the government doing this.
at what point is this natural selection?
I mean, they used to publish these books called the Darwin Awards about people who did these things to themselves. But this is where I'm saying you have, literally children, primarily young women who've been traumatized, who've been groomed. I don't want a natural selection
I
done on
get
a 14-year-old making a dumbass decision.
Listen, I
based
get
on a
that.
bad set of circumstances.
I get that. I totally get that. However, not all the cases
Got some
are
people
that.
over on Rumble who can too. Awesome.
But
I get
at what point do we allow nature? This is the problem.
Well, the answer in this case is easy. It's 18 years old.
Hold on, this is the problem, and I'm gonna just be frank here. This is the Grift report. I wild out. This is the problem with white folks. Y'all always trying to fix some shit. Stop trying
I want
to fix
people
some
to
shit.
chat
Anytime
in.
you fix
Hotep
some shit,
Jesus
you
is a
break
queer
some shit.
Marxist.
So the
Hotep
problem
Jesus
is
is a
white
queer
folks
Marxist.
always trying to save
Hotep
somebody. Y'all
Jesus
trying to
believes
save
in
Africa,
queer
you messed
theory.
that up. Trying
He
to save
wants to
South America, you
trans
messed it up.
kids.
Trying to save
Hotep
Ukraine, you messed it up.
Jesus is a
Leave.
queer
If
Marxist.
motherfuckers want to chop they dick off, let them chop they dick off and mind your business.
Now I will tell you, so you said, "Where's the line?" I said,
Hotep
18 years old. I was
Jesus,
in
let
college.
them
I was
chop
at
their dick
Northwestern,
off and
I was
mind their
this kid
business.
said, "You need to be nicer about what you say because I'm trans." You know what I said back to this poor kid? I said, "You go cut your dick off if you want. I don't care." That's what I said.
Yeah.
So,
Hang on.
As you should.
But I draw that line at 18 years old. Actually, I don't even. My line is, can we not do a differential diagnosis first? Can we look for an underlying trauma? Can we look for an underlying mental illness before it's like, I'm Jazz Jennings and I'm gonna, trot out my parents are gonna trot myself out as
All right, I got another chat.
for their
I got another
virtue
tweet.
points. Because that kid, I mean, I get you though. People always white people always try to fix something.
James, you're a good guy. And
No,
you're
he's
absolutely
not.
right. I don't disagree with you, but I disagree with you.
I get you.
Right?
I
Like
get you.
intellectually and morally, you are doing the right thing. Okay.
I am technically correct.
You are technically correct. But in Hotepistan, the care for those people
on, here's
does
another
not
tweet.
exist.
Bookmark.
Does not,
like,
like we practice homeschool.
reply,
We pulling our kids
retweet,
away
quote tweet.
from all of this, right?
I'm 100% behind that too. In
You
fact,
know?
this won't be an issue if people are homeschooling.
Right, because a lot
That's
of
the
this
first
stuff,
true thing that's
keep
been said
them kids
tonight.
off the goofy internet stuff.
Right.
It used to be Tumblr. I don't know what it is now that the kids are getting all whacked out on.
right. All right, so far,
But that's a parenting issue.
so far, I've identified one point that you're the woke right.
All right, whatever. I'll take it. I'll let you have that.
Let me have that one, James. Come on, man.
No. You're good. You're good.
But like,
This is fun.
let's be serious.
Let's be serious, bro. Let's be serious.
Government legislating social issues. It's a slippery slope. Like for
No, that's
example,
what I'm saying. This is a medical issue, and I'm saying the government needs to step in because these medical authorities are not doing their job.
Yeah.
And here's my ideal solution, by the way.
Okay.
And I've said this to, I don't know, 5 to 7. I don't know how many I've actually got to sit down and say this to state legislatures. So this is what When the rubber hits the road, what does James Lindsay tell these people? Do not ban this crap. You're just going to end up in court. Here's what you do. You extend the rights of private action, malpractice action, past the average time of desistance by twice.
All right.
So it turns out that the average time of desistance for some person.
I think we should have our grand finale, and I think everyone should go to movie night with Honest Dog Allison. Everyone ready for a grand finale? Everyone ready? Everyone ready? What should we write for the grand finale? I don't even give a fuck what James has to say anymore. We've already nailed Hotep Jesus' ass to the wall. We nailed James's ass to the wall. Now what we're going to do is we're all going to leave at the same time. He's going to watch his numbers plummet right in front of him, okay? That's going to be the greatest revenge. We're all going to fucking leave at the same time. He's going to watch his numbers plummet right in front of him. So what should our final grand finale be? What should our final grand finale be? What do you guys want to do? Do you want to do Carlin is better than James? Do you want to do whiteness means capitalism? Do you want to do Hotep Jesus? Like tell me what you want to do. Give me some ideas here. What should our grand finale message be before they ban everyone and we can't do it anymore? We leave grifters lose. Carlin was right. That's what it is. Hang on. Here's the message. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. That's the message, guys, okay? I want everyone to start tweeting this in. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. We leave grifters lose. And if you want a bonus, you are the woke right. Okay? You are the woke right. So we're doing we leave grifters lose, and you are the woke right. Okay? Everyone do that. We're just going to sit here and watch. We leave grifters lose, you are the woke right. And we're just going to stay here for a second and watch. Carlin Borisenko is always right, you are the woke right. Carlin is right, we leave grifters lose, you are the woke right. We leave grifters lose. Everyone that can chat in, go, go, go. Carlin was right. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke white. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Go until they ban you. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. Hotep and James. We leave grifters lose. You are the woke right. Well done, guys. Well done. We own his fucking chat like the bitch that Hotep Jesus is. He just bent over for me. All right. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. Carlin is right. We leave grifters use. You are the woke right. James made me dumb. Carlin is working to enlighten me. Grifters lose. Carlin is right. We leave grifters lose. We leave grifters lose. All right. Now what I want is for everyone to leave. Everyone shut it down. Everyone leave at the same time. Everyone leave. I'm going to be the last to go. I want all the chats on the video. Everyone leave. Everyone's getting banned anyway. Everyone's getting banned anyway. Everyone leave. Everyone leave. Everyone leave at the same time. Everyone leave. Is everyone left? All right, I'm leaving. We're done. We're done. Everyone leave. No more. Okay? No more. We're done. And we won, and they lost, and we got Hotep Jesus on video saying that he thinks it's woke right to ban transing kids. Everyone gone? Did everyone leave? Everyone shut down all your windows. Just leave. Me win, James and Hotep Jesus lose. You know, Hotep Jesus has always been a low IQ retard, but I really never anticipated that he would actually, in good faith, say that it is woke right to ban transing kids. And James was just right there. You know, man, maybe we can... This is the problem with classical liberalism. Hotep Jesus was like, it's woke right if we ban transing kids, James. We should just let them cut off their dicks. And James was like, you know, maybe we can have a conversation about that. That is the problem with classical liberalism. Classical liberalism says that when you are talking to a black person, a low IQ black person who is saying, maybe we should just like let the parents trans the kids and we should just let the parents cut their dicks off and that's cool. When a low IQ black person is saying that, the classical liberal goes, hey bro, hey, can we have a conversation about that? Because that seems like a really bad idea. And then the black person, because they're a low IQ retard, in this case, not all black people are low IQ retards, but Hotep Jesus is absolutely a low IQ retard. The low IQ retard says, no, this is natural selection. We should let them cut off their dicks. And then the classical liberal goes, oh, hey bro, maybe we can have a conversation about that because I just don't think that's a good idea. And then the low IQ retard that is Hotep Jesus goes, no, this is natural selection. We should let them cut off their dicks. And this is what classical liberalism is. This is what classical liberalism is. It is a constant struggle to try to reason with low IQ retards like Hotep Jesus. That's why we don't engage with it. That's why we call it out, which we successfully did tonight. And now, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go have a movie. Does everyone want to go have a movie? Let's go have a movie. Because Honest Dog Allison is showing a movie in the supporter Discord. I want to encourage everyone to go to the movie. It's a 1968 classic called The Party, apparently. And I'm sorry we're going to be a little bit late, but we do want to go to the movie to support Honest Dog Allison. So if you're in the supporter Discord, go ahead and go. If you need to join the supporter Discord, head over to carlin.substack.com. Join the via the Unwoke Roundup email that got sent out earlier this week. And well done, guys. Well done. Everyone give yourself a round of applause. Well done. Everyone go to movie night with Honest Dog Allison. We want to make sure to support her. She's doing a great job. Thank you guys for all coming out to participate in this little exercise. Now let's go watch a movie, okay? I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Socialism Saturday. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you soon. Well done, guys. Take care. Bye.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.